This is A's Cast Live, your comprehensive Oakland athletics.
Rooker, it's a fly ball to deep center. Robert going back at the track. He will turn and watch it fly.
And 29 other MLB clubs.
Adolis Garcia sends one the other way. That sends Carroll back. He's at the wall. Ronald Acuna, another milestone in a truly historic season.
Julio with an absolute nuke out to left field.
It's Glaber Day. And like a good Glaber, Torres is there.
Join us as we take you inside the baseball universe. From humidors to Stuff Plus to walk-off dingers, we have you covered. Spend your afternoon with us, only on A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. And we are starting the show. First of all, Nick Kurtz, our number one pick, is here. Let me tell you something. He looks like a power forward. He's going to join us coming up here.
I thought that was Dan Issel.
Did you? He walked up. By the way, come here, get in the camera shot. It's a great Steve Sparks, ladies and gentlemen, former athletic, the knuckleballer, now a great broadcaster for the Houston Astros. We're
See what I wore today?
See, for the show.
For the show.
Brilliant.
And for Oakland. I'm going to miss this place. This is the last time we come here. And to be able to come to the Coliseum for the last time is bittersweet on our end, too.
You know what's been great talking to you over the years, and you've been great to us here on A's Cast Live, is the fact that all the years you pitched against the A's, then you got traded and you came over here. You loved pitching here.
I did. I love the fans. I love the atmosphere here. And to pitch here in the playoffs and feel what it felt like in 2003 with this Oakland team, knowing, you know, how many fans we had here and how electric it was. It was the highlight of my career. So Game 2, Ramon Hernandez lays one down with 2 outs, and we win and take a 2-0 lead over the Boston Red Sox. It didn't get any more exciting for me in my entire career. I was sitting just about 100 feet away from that play. Ron Washington nods that, hey, man, the third baseman's back. He was our third base coach, and Ramon saw it, laid it down perfectly, and took a 2-0 lead. That was fun.
Well, you know what's great is when you come back, there's still a lot of people that work here who were here in 2003.
I know. Yeah, we come in and we see Adrian and Anthony outside when we get off the bus every day, and Michael, the security guy, up by the elevators, and feels like home whenever you come here to Oakland.
And pitching here, what was that as a knuckleballer? Because like even right now, you can't see with our camera angle, but on top of Mount Davis, the wind is swirling, and we've done a great job with NBC Sports California and our boss, Delaire. They've had graphics of the way they show how the wind comes in around Mount Davis in right center and then swirls. And then I've watched it over the years because I did the sidelines for the Raiders. So to watch the football season, how the wind, but it's always swirling inside here. How does that help the old butterfly?
You know, compared to AA and AAA when the stands were lower, and you come into a major league ballpark, and typically behind home plate it gets high. A lot of times you look at the flag, say maybe the flag in left field or left center field is coming in, which is good. It'll knock down fly balls. But once it gets to the stands behind home plate, it usually curls and comes back into your face, which is perfect for a knuckleball pitcher because you want a little friction against the ball to make it dance more. So wind blowing in as a fly ball pitcher and the current down low by where I was pitching to the hitter, I had perfect conditions when the flag was blowing in from left center.
I was actually thinking about you probably about a couple weeks ago. There was an article, I want to say it was in The Athletic, but it was talking about there's this knuckleball camp. And I know the Negros have been involved in it. And it's like, will there be a rebirth with all of the velocity and spin and guys can't stay healthy and guys can't give us innings? Could there potentially be the rebirth of the knuckleballer because he doesn't get hurt, he can go every 5 days, and he gives you innings?
And so many teams are looking to zag when the other teams are zigging, right?
Yeah.
The Astros have been famous for that for a long time. Always trying to think a little bit outside the box, but everybody is talking about spin. The knuckleball is the antithesis of that. It's no spin. Right now, and you know David Fletcher, who is the shortstop for the Angels for the last few years, he's in AA with the Atlanta Braves now, and he's a knuckleball pitcher. And just his 2 starts ago, he threw 106 pitches, 8 2/3 innings, and every single pitch that he threw in that game was a knuckleball. No cutters, no fastballs, anything. 106 knuckleballs he threw in that game. 8 2/3, one out shy of a complete game, and he's on a track to make it back to the big leagues as a knuckleball pitcher. I talk to him twice a week right now, and he's doing fantastically. I mean, he looks like he's all in, number one, other than playing shortstop a couple days a week still. But he's in Double-A, and he's making his way back to the big leagues as a knuckler.
And once football season starts, allegedly he could give us some advice on some parlays.
That's true. I haven't asked him about it yet, but who knows? I mean, I heard he's good at it.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, a guy in the clubhouse can help you out. We just did I know probably you had to do it. We had to, Major League Baseball employees, we just had to do the gambling policy thing. And
yeah, I skipped it.
We can bet on football, so he could help us. So you're in touch with him. So I love that. It's giving back to something you love, and it only takes like one or two guys to start doing it and be successful to have the front offices go, aha, maybe we should try that.
Well, Matt Waldron's doing it with San Diego with success, so he's throwing it about 40% of the time, and I think, probably, I mean, it's just kind of an extra pitch. He's more of a pitcher with a knuckleball. Fletcher is all in on throwing it as much as he can, and I would say, Wakefield, Charlie Huff, all these guys, I don't think I've seen anybody repeat his delivery as well as Fletcher.
Really?
No. I mean, being able to throw it over and over the way
the double plays.
It's a lot like a push.
Yeah.
And he kind of pushed the ball anyway, but the secret to the knuckleball, and which is why it's easier to throw it on flat ground than it is on a mound, is you want to keep your palm behind the ball as long as you can. And a lot of times when you're on the mound, it starts to get like this, and you end up tipping over, and it causes a little bit of rotation, which is a bad pitch. It's easy to recognize. So for the knuckleball to be really good, you keep your palm behind the ball as long as you can. And to do that, it's helpful to be a little shorter, like Fletcher is.
Yeah.
And to kind of short arm and push the ball, which is natural for him.
How easy is it to teach it?
That's a good question. There's the hardest thing to teach is the temperament that you need to throw that pitch. And if you've spoken to R.A. Dickey, Tim Wakefield, Tom Candiotti, the Necros, Charlie Huff, everybody has very similar personalities. And I say that because you have to relax a lot to be able to throw that pitch in high-pressure situations. And the guys that I've seen with the Astros through the years who are trying to work on it, and they've had me go down to the minor league side in spring training to look at these guys, within a minute you can usually tell this guy's a little too high-strung to be able to do this pitch for a living.
I kind of like that. What's that say about you? Kind of cool breeze?
I was cool breeze.
Cool breeze life.
I was a goof. You know me, and I could relax, for whatever reason. I think it's from stupidity, but I could relax when you need to. And, it shows up on the golf course in a money game.
That's huge.
If you can relax.
Just relax.
Yep.
Let the talent take over. Don't get too handsy. Don't get too quick.
I'm not going to go so far as to say that you have talent on the golf course, but you could probably relax just because you're on the microphone quite a bit.
Well, it didn't work in Hawaii, I can tell you that. One of my favorite memories of watching baseball in high school was when the first ever game for the Marlins, it was the Florida Marlins against the LA Dodgers, right? So it's Charlie Huff against Oral Hershiser. And I'll never forget watching that, right? It was on ESPN. And they show Oral, and, Oral had his funky mechanics. And then they go down to Charlie Huff. Swear to God, he's smoking a cigarette. He puts the cigarette back down on the mound.
He's warming up?
While he's warming up.
How about that? So I heard that he would get on the exercise bike in the clubhouse with a heater. When he was with the Dodgers, I heard they had to, like in spring training, they would go through this neighborhood to do their running. And before he would get to the ballpark that day, he found a mailbox that was at the end of that route to stick some heaters and a lighter in there so he could take a break in the middle of his run. Major league pitcher, he's out there just smagging.
Good old heart dart to start your morning, right?
Yeah.
Astros are hot.
They're playing well. From the outset, I felt like this team could hit. I mean, much like Oakland, but Astros are pretty deep, pretty long in their lineup as far as, not too many strikeouts, guys that can bop a little bit with Jordan. Tucker's been out since June 3rd, but once you get him back, you feel like it's full again. But at the trade deadline, and to get where they've gotten here, Chris, they chased a lot of wins. And by chasing wins, I mean Josh Hader, their closer, pitched in 15 games in the first half of this season that they weren't winning.
Wow.
So they were trying to keep it as close as they could to try to come back and chase wins to get back into the race. They started 12-24, so they had a lot of ground to catch up to. But their relievers, man, especially their leverage relievers have pitched a ton. And to be able to get to the finish line, it's going to be difficult for them to get there without some help.
What would you like Dana Brown to go do? What would you like? I mean, names obviously are tough to bring up, but what would you, from a position standpoint, more starters? Do you need more relief help to help down the stretch? What would you like to see?
I think they needed probably some platoon help at first base with John Singleton. And then I think that they could probably go out there, and it's very tough because there's going to be so many suitors to try to get some starting pitching. But I think maybe just being as creative as you can to just get an innings gobbler. I mean, if you can get somebody, and I hate to throw out names too, but a Jamison Taillon type, somebody who's at the latter stages of their career that's dependable to go out there and to give you 6 innings just about every time he takes the mound, I think would go a long way to keep Hunter Brown and Ronel Blanco healthy the rest of the season.
We've been experiencing this the past few years, and I'm just warning our fans once again, because we see it at the trading deadline, we see it at the winter meetings. These front offices don't want to take on money. They don't want to give up their prospects. So we're going to build up trading deadline 2024. So many teams, especially in the National League, are still close to that last wild card. I just don't know if we're going to have a big blockbuster or multiple big blockbusters. As you said, bringing Taillon in, that's not going to blow up your skirt. But, you know, the days of riverboat gamblers in the front office, they just don't really exist anymore, except like A.J. Preller, maybe DePoto. Not a lot of guys. Dombrowski's still in Philly, but most guys aren't.
Yeah, I think the Astros are pretty aggressive as far as letting go of prospects. I know they have been the last few years, how they've been able to reacquire Verlander and got Greinke, giving up a lot of capital in those moves. And they're willing to, you know, and they'll go out there and they feel like they can continue to develop guys and have good drafts. And if you do that, you know, their farm system's always 27th, 28th in the rankings, but they feel, I mean, 9 of the last 10 years, they've had a top 5 finisher in the Rookie of the Year. They feel like they develop guys pretty well. So with that formula in mind, you'll let go of guys and just continue to try to keep that pipeline going. I think they're in the window still. I think a lot of teams have warts, including the Astros, but they've got as good a shot as anybody, and they've got a good pedigree, and I don't think they're going to let another opportunity to win another World Series get in their way with a couple of prospects.
You've been in this game a long time, so I don't know if this is a tough question or not. Would you rather go to the ALCS 7 years in a row, World Series 4 times, win 2 World Series, or have the best farm system year after year?
Yeah, it's no question, is it?
I mean, it's like, seriously.
There's no question.
I mean, it looks great on MLB.com, but who cares?
Who cares?
I'm about winning.
It's so subjective anyway.
Yeah.
You know, what are they going to look like when they get to the big leagues? We see a lot of good prospects fall on their faces at the big league level. I mean, can they perform like we were talking about? Can they relax in big situations? You know, and you teach guys how to do that, but a lot of guys are born with that. And I would say, I spent 10 years as a minor league player. I would say the biggest difference between the guys that I played with in AA and the major leaguers were the guys who could relax. And most of the guys who had more talent, a lot of guys with more talent, couldn't relax at the big league level and just couldn't get over the hump and have a career.
All right, one more baseball, because I have to ask you about, because I know you're a big OU fan, right?
Yeah.
Well, I have to ask you about that. But you said something on the show, and I reference it all the time, especially on the postgame show, where you talked about, I don't remember what year it was, but you talked about why you love the postseason is because now you're not playing for the data. You're not playing for money.
Mm-hmm.
You're now playing just to win the game.
Yeah, it's more of a selfless game.
Right? You're playing the game the way it's actually meant to be played. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah. Well, everybody's driven by statistics and to try to get bigger contracts. And I think you get to the playoffs, it turns into more of a team game. Everybody's more united on a singular goal. And everybody's thinking about, what do we have to do to beat the other team? And that's why we started to play this game when we were 6 and 7 years old, is we wanted to win. We wanted everybody to keep score, and we wanted to see how we could beat the other team. And I think that's what it turns into the playoffs. It's a little different from the regular season in the off days, and you can kind of switch guys around. We saw the Texas Rangers do this. They had a miserable bullpen, but they were able to put a couple of starters into the bullpen and patch that up last year because of all the off days, and it worked out beautifully for them. But you start playing games, start hitting behind the runner better. It's more intentional as far as getting runners in, getting a sacrifice fly when you need it. It just seems like guys are more patient at the plate, all of those things that make them good in stretches during the course of the season. But it's hard to do for 162 because there's half of the guys typically on your team and on your roster that haven't gotten paid yet, and they're trying to put up their best numbers, and it's not very good for the team's winning percentage.
See, when I say it, I'm just the idiot on A's Cast. When you say it, it's like, yeah, he's right. He's right. See, this is what I've been talking about. All right, quickly, because I know I don't want to get you out of the heat here. Which actually in Houston, this would be a beautiful day.
This feels like the winter time. Right? This feels great.
I mean, when I was growing up, the Big Eight was Nebraska. It was Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, Colorado, right?
Yep.
Texas was in the Southwestern Conference with A&M and SMU
Arkansas
in those days. And then now we're going to see OU and Texas in the SEC. That's the Southeastern Conference. The southeastern part used to be their own little world with Bear Bryant and the boys back now. Now, I mean, how do you feel?
You know, I'm glad they're competing with all those great teams. I think they're going to be a lot of fun. But I had a son that went to Texas. I had a daughter that went to Oklahoma. I grew up in Tulsa, so there's a rooting interest in watching those games. And my oldest daughter went to Alabama, so they're going to be playing against those teams. And you know, college football is a little different now. I wish it was spread out a little bit more, and we could probably talk for hours about the NILs and all that stuff. So it's different, and we're starting to see some coaches get turned off enough to go do something else now. And the recruiting just seems scummy to me, you know, and be able to outpay other teams to get these players rather than these guys getting fired up enough to go play for Barry Switzer, you know, somebody who can show up in their high school cafeteria in a fur coat and turn Brian Bosworth, into a signee, right? Yeah. You know, I miss those days that it wasn't
Bud Wilkerson
about money. You know, and
I go OU coaches.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've worked 2 OU games. I've been there, and what people don't understand, because you know we're in the Bay Area, right? And we're in California. We're used to every city having all these teams. In Oklahoma, OU football is the NFL. That's
the major leagues.
And if you're not at OU, you're at OSU. My man Mike Gundy.
That's AAA. It is.
I'm a man. I'm 40. He's a man. Yeah. He's now 60.
Yeah.
I remember watching him I was at the Holiday Bowl because he was the quarterback and Barry Sanders was the running back. Oh God, the good old days.
Those are great. Yeah.
Hey,
great to see you, Towny.
A's fans will always remember you here in Oakland.
I don't know about that, but I'll always remember them. So
when we have you on, they know they don't forget.
I appreciate it, man. I loved every second of it. I came here for just a month at the end of 2003, got to pitch in the playoffs, pitched at Fenway Park in those playoffs, and it was the thrill of my life. And every time I come here, I kind of think about those days and those times and how fun they were.
But no matter where we go, we need you a part of A's Cast.
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah, always.
The Knuckleballer right here on A's Cast Live.
Hey, Oakland A's fans, step up to the plate with Xfinity Internet. Get the fastest speeds and low-lag streaming for an incredible viewing experience that knocks it out of the park. And you'll have a consistent connection with reduced buffering and freezing, so you can stay in all the action inning after inning. When it's game time, make sure to catch it all with internet that's powerful and reliable. Stream sports from the best seat in the house with Xfinity, because it's only live once. Actual speeds vary and not guaranteed. Many factors affect speed. For factors affecting speed, visit xfinity.com/network management.
Where does one community end and the next begin? Across the railroad tracks? On the other side of the river? Is it between the east side and the west side? At Comerica Bank, we believe it's all one community, and we're all part of it. That's why Comerica has invested over $20 million for affordable housing, financial education, and workforce development in lower-income communities. Because when we raise expectations for everyone, we all rise. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
August 5th is International Trading Card Day, and Topps would like to celebrate with you. Visit your participating local hobby shop to receive a pack of cards, plus receive a special card if you purchase $10 or more of Topps products while supplies last. You can also celebrate International Trading Card Day with Topps on August 5th at the Oakland Coliseum and receive an exclusive A's card pack. Follow @Topps on social media and visit Topps.com for more information.
This is the place where you can dance like nobody's watching, win like nobody's business, and get away like you mean it. So what are you waiting for? Come join the party. Take that evening out and make it a night you'll never forget. This kind of action can't be beat.
This is Chris Townsend, and it is summertime. You want to look your best, and I can't tell you how excited I am. Commander Cody, we've got our new shipment from Link Soul, all the summer gear. So whether you're playing golf or you're going out for dinner, you're hanging out with your buddies, or you're going to the beach, go see our friends at linksoul.com. And right now they have an offer where you can get 20% off. Go to linksoul.com. Remember, in the big leagues, look good, play good.
Hi, fans. This season, Kingsford Capital Management is the official hedge fund sponsor of the Oakland A's. At Kingsford, down to business is their way of seeing the world. Investing has its pitfalls, treacherous chasms of half-truth and despair. Kingsford's mission is to create opportunity through application of proven innovation and entrepreneurial focus with trust, tenacity, loyalty, and growth, establishing a strong reputation as a proven intendant and validated bedrock of American finance. Kingsford Capital, down to business.
With the sunshine returning, it's time for golf, and more golf at Cinnabar Hills Golf Club. Cinnabar Hills is also your destination for great food with their beautiful renovated restaurant and quality craft beer selection at their full bar. Featuring a grass driving range and 27 championship caliber holes, Cinnabar Hills Golf Club is the best public course in the Bay Area. For more information, go to cinnabarhills.com. That's cinnabarhills.com.
Ever wondered what a 30-foot tall pistachio looks like? A giant redwood or Big Sur? Chevron with Techron will be there to help you see them and tons of other places you have to see to believe. Because with unbeatable mileage and a clean engine, cars feel great. So next time you want to fill up on a little adventure, an awkward family photo, or a new commute to work, make sure to fill up at Chevron's along the way. Your car and your memories will thank you. Chevron with Techron, fueled by possibility.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is the #1 brand of online mattresses and the Bay Area's favorite mattress store. Take home the Easy Breather pillow. The New York Times calls it their #1 pick. You can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland, and you'll get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding. Love where you sleep.
If you're looking for a great place to eat and watch games, go see our friends at the Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek. The Chicken Pie Shop is one of the hottest restaurants in Walnut Creek. You're not going to find a better menu, and come try their world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 86 years. Spacious indoor and outdoor dining, perfect for your next private party or corporate event. Don't forget free parking. For more information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
And the underdogs, Oakland Athletics, win their first championship since they were in Philadelphia in 1930.
Hi, I'm Raleigh Fingers, Hall of Famer, 3-time World Series champion with the Oakland A's and World Series MVP. Winning takes teamwork, skill, and heart. So when you need an ace for a personal injury lawyer that will win you the game, go with the winning team. Call Venardi Zerata at 833-VZ-FOR-ME or go to vzlawfirm.com. Venardi Serrata, the official injury law firm of the Oakland A's.
Like sports, business is about winning. Championship decisions are business decisions based on what it takes to help your company win. And that's why there's UBO Business Services, specializing in helping you win every day by streamlining workflows, managing documents, and providing the best-in-class office technology. Make your championship decision with UBO Business Services. Visit them at ubeo.com. That's ubeo.com.
The A's YouTube page is your go-to destination for A's video content. Get access to great highlights, exclusive behind-the-scenes content, classic games, A's Cast Live, and more. Visit youtube.com/athletics.
You're listening to A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
How good is that? The knuckleballer Steve Sparks. Sparksy's one of our favorites. No question about it. By the way, how many more times? They come one more time after this? This is it?
I think this is it. I thought they played here once already.
The Angels, that was it for the Angels yesterday.
The Angels done. We played them one more time in 3 days, and then we're done with the Angels for the year. Didn't see him for the first 2.5 months, and then we see him all in within a month.
I know. It's ridiculous. Packed show today. So not only did we just have Sparksy, but we've got the number one pick for the Athletics, Nick Kurtz, coming up from Wake Forest. We're then going to have the general manager, David Forst, to talk about Nick, to talk about draft, and to talk about, obviously, the trading deadline. And then at 5:30, Jose Canseco. We filmed it yesterday. It was awesome to have Jose on the program. The great Jose Canseco. And then we're going to save Chris Davis, because we interviewed Chris Davis. Are we going to have him on pre today?
I was going to save him for pre-tomorrow.
Pre-tomorrow?
Yeah.
All right, Chris Davis will be on tomorrow. Really good to catch up with Chris. So, jam-packed show. I can tell you, this Kurtz kid, watching him, and he's actually in the cage as we – is that him?
No, he has high socks.
Well, where'd he go? He's about to meet the media soon. He is a –
big kid?
What do you say, about 6'5"?
Yeah, let's see. Let's get the
I mean, he is a tall. He's got a little power forward look to him. He is a big young man. No, he's over there talking to a guy in a suit, probably his agent.
6'5", 240, according to Baseball Reference.
6'5", 240.
I didn't realize I had a middle linebacker.
I mean, he's a big young man.
Well,
and
actually, 6'5" is a little big for a linebacker.
You know, one of the things that I want to talk to him about is just how it feels now. Because the process of being drafted is so far different than it used to be. I mean, he already had a special. MLB Network, I don't know if any of you got to watch. That's why I watch it in case you don't watch this stuff. MLB Network went to Wake Forest. And they did the 3 big prospects who were going to go in the first round. Of course, he was one of them. So to think before you ever get drafted, and now college baseball is on television more than ever before. You can watch most big schools. You can watch their games online. You can stream their games. So these kids are talked about more than ever before. The draft they've tried to make bigger than ever before, as we've moved the draft from June into July into the All-Star break, and the fact that MLB Network is going out and doing specials on guys. So before you ever get picked, you've got a special on MLB Network. What is this process like to go through all of that, get drafted, finally sign, and just be able to finally breathe a little bit? You know, you have this new financial security. You know you're going to get an opportunity we'll find out where he's going to go after this to start his career. But just take us through that process, because it's so different than what it used to be. The old process was you would get drafted, they'd call you, the next day it would show up in the papers, and that was it. And also, he'll be the last first-round pick of the Oakland Athletics. So there's a lot to get into with him about this. Do we know what time we're going to have him?
I was just told that he'd be on sometime today. David Forst said he was taking batting practice, and Forst said he'd come on after that. So I'm assuming anytime between now and 5. So I'm assuming once the team's on with BP, because BP is only going to go for another 10, 15 minutes. Another interesting factoid about Nick Kurtz, born in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Oh, no.
No.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't care if Joe Namath is from there, Dan Marino, or Joe Montana.
That's the land of the Amish. So if you want to get into that with him,
I don't, but you can.
I'll take it. I'll take it as a Western PA guy.
Did he go to school in a horse and buggy?
Did you ever hang out in the city? Bird in the hand. Bird in the hand.
Where you grew up, did they have power?
Were you more of an Amish guy or a Mennonite?
That's going to be your department, and if we get in trouble,
hey, that's Western PA right there. That's Central PA, but
we have just gotten the update that he has officially signed.
Correct. Yeah, I saw images on Twitter, so he's officially an athletic.
Is he immediately like on the field? I mean, his build. If I had to compare his build, and you're going to see him here in just a little bit, his build would be similar to Lawrence Butler. Now, he's 2 inches taller than Butler. I mean, he's grabbing his bat now. He is a big kid.
Yeah.
6'5", 240. That is, I mean, you're almost putting some weight on him, and he's going to be a defensive. He's going to be a guy that gets after the quarterback.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's be great on the defensive side of the ball. When you hear 6'5", 240, I mean, that's what you think of. You don't think first base. I mean, guys, a lot of first basemen are that big, but
think power. Well, watching the video on him, MLB Network, you were talking extreme power. What he displayed. He's got all the attributes of an ace player that the front office likes. High on base percentage, walks a lot, hits bombs.
He's the all-time leader in walks at Wake Forest.
How old is he right now?
I think he's 21.
I mean, he fits perfectly for when the team is in Vegas.
He won't turn 20.
I know that makes some people angry. I apologize, but we still have to cover this team and the future of the team. It's kind of like perfect of when, he should be here, in 2 years?
Well, I know Jacob Wilson was drafted or sent up debuted in the year, and he was a first-round pick. So never say never.
Well, you got to remember, Jacob Wilson had a full season last year.
Correct.
Right? So where we are right now, this will be, and this is kind of the problem. I get what Major League Baseball is trying to do when they want to showcase the draft, and they want to do it during the All-Star game when nothing else is going on. Problem with that is you now have shortened this first part of these kids' pro career, right? It's one last month than they used to have. You used to get drafted in June, then you got to go play, and you had July and August. So you shorten this. So think about what I'm saying. He plays now. He has a full year next year, and then in 2 years, he's here. Or he's Sacramento.
I mean, Jacob Wilson was drafted last year in July. Played, once went down.
But Jacob Wilson also hit 400 at every
and in college.
Kind of forced his way here.
By the way, his dad Jack is around. I saw him walk by when we started the show. It's a bummer about Jacob. I was here Friday when he made his debut.
Yeah, that was awful news. But you think give him one full, so he has the rest of this season, 1 full year. Probably into that, he'd have to really push. Probably, let's be fair, 2.5 years in the minors. So that would be 3rd year in Sacramento. He starts coming up and playing in the big leagues.
Yeah, and we talk about how guys.
And then he's ready to really go once the team opens up in Vegas.
Yeah, we talk about how guys hit in Vegas and AAA. Can you imagine how many bombs he's going to hit there for Fran?
Wow. JJ Bleday. It's good to see everybody. It's funny that I've actually missed 4 games, and I come walking up here today. Kotze mentions it. Emo mentions it. A couple of plays. You act like I was gone a month.
I know. I saw Emo in Philly. He waved. Well, first he pointed and waved after the game on Friday when I was there. That's the last time I saw anyone. But yeah, I heard Kotze say something about he missed you when he started this media scrum.
You start looking at the young guys here. Paul Blackburn, good to see you. Let's go. Canseco mentioned it yesterday to us, and you're going to see it a little bit later today. The thing about the A's in the late 80s, early 90s was size.
Yeah.
That was a team of tremendous size. Now, some guys' size wasn't natural.
Whoa.
I hate to burst your bubble.
Whoa. Big Mac was a big guy when he came out of USC. I don't know what you can't tell me any different.
We had this thing called, wait for it, PEDs.
Not in my game. I didn't grow up watching McGuire and Sosa play.
How was that home run race? Did you enjoy that?
I watched guys like Barry Bonds hit home runs.
How many? 73?
70.
great list. We'll get into it tomorrow.
Whenever. I mean, it's topical. We can do it whenever.
We're so busy today. Tomorrow, 21st century, the best players of the 21st century.
Yeah, top 25.
So you need to think about that. Guys who are still playing in the year 2000 and beyond, because there's all-time greats.
Yeah.
But they didn't play that long into the 2000s. And then you have, I'm not going to wreck it, but the number one guy was someone, I would have guessed Albert Pujols would have started late 90s. He didn't. His first year was 01.
Yeah. I always remember that.
So he's number one. 700 home runs.
List is over. There's no intrigue.
I didn't kill it for everybody. I only gave one guy. But, 700 home runs, 2,000 plus RBIs, 3,000 hits, the MVPs. Albert Pujols, an all-time great. And somebody who I believe, and I'll tell you the reason why it will never happen, but Albert Pujols, if you watch him do television when they put him on TNT, because TNT is now a basketball channel, they've matched Amazon.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's fabulous at explaining the game as an
analyst.
He
is.
Albert Pujols awesome, but the problem is he made too much money, so you're never going to get him to do anything full time.
We talked about this yesterday too. Another guy that's on the list as well, who went in the Hall of Fame yesterday, Adrian Beltre, would be great on television as well.
Beltre's hilarious. He's got a tremendous personality. He would be fantastic. But yeah, these guys got. Pujols has, after taxes, whatever it is, it's over $150 million in the bank, right? Adrian Beltre probably has well over $100 million. They're not going to grind. So that's the reason why you can still get a guy like John Smoltz. He didn't make that money, right? The guys who made the crazy not saying Smoltz didn't make millions and isn't financially set, but, he didn't have a $200 million contract. So it's different. But we will go over that list. It is very interesting. The top 25 guys of the 21st century. I like it.
Yeah, we went over some of the guys that were on there. Some guys that weren't on there. There's a couple notable omissions that we'll get into.
That's a joke. There's one that's an absolute joke that he's not on. Oh, wow. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, the star, just get out of the way. Get in front of the camera. The Stomper. It's tough being this good, isn't it? Being this good looking. Yeah, when you're a star, hey, you're the star. I'm just the idiot that talks all day long about the A's. You're the star. You're the big league. Good to see you, Stomper. You always be well. That's greatness right there. Is there a bet?
Is that the first time we had Stomper on this show? Might be.
Well, you're not going to get Stomper all the time.
He's pretty busy.
Right? He's top 5 mascot.
In baseball or all sports?
Baseball.
I might argue he could be in the top 10 all sports.
I stay in baseball. I'm saying top 5 because a lot are bad.
Well, don't get into the what the hell is that Ray mascot they have? They have 4 of them. There's the
crab. Are you still going to try and bring Lucille the crab or whatever that
seal?
The seal. What was the crab?
Lucille the crab. What?
What was the crab that they had over in Candlestick, the Giants? That stupid crab.
I have no idea, but
you probably weren't even here.
I'm sorry, guys. You confuse a crustacean for a seal.
Either way, it's bad. The Philly Fanatic is the best.
Yes. The Fanatic is, as much as I hate the city of Philadelphia, yes.
Why do you hate Philadelphia? The great city of a historic city. The Constitution started. That everybody's trying to rip up these days. The Constitution.
Yeah, see, there's a gripe there. I couldn't get into Independence Hall when I was there. It was sold out. What? Come on. You're telling me that many people want to go see the Constitution that many days in a row?
If you're ever in Philadelphia, I'm not going to say the Liberty Bell is overrated.
I saw that. A little overrated. I'm
not going to say it's overrated. How dare you? It's a great part of history.
It is, but
it's just not as big as you think it's going to be.
That's what I mean. I love the idea of it, but then I got there and I'm like, the picture's fine.
I'm not ripping it, but it's right across the street from Independence Hall. You have to go to Independence Hall if you're ever in Philadelphia. It's the birthplace of the of the Constitution. It's the birthplace of our government. When you go and you do the tour, it's park rangers because it's government land. It's park rangers take you through and they start explaining to you that, Thomas Jefferson was there, George Washington was there, Alexander Hamilton was over, and you're just like
the play guy.
Yeah,
I'm joking.
So wow. You know, Alexander Hamilton is the reason why Wall Street is in New York, and the
I think we went over this a couple
White
weeks
House.
ago on this very
Don't
program.
make me go history. I'm a history guy. But you're like, wow. You're like, all these, Thomas Jefferson was there. They were all there making the Constitution. It's really incredible.
My favorite thing we did there, we went to
Michael, you just looked at me like I was nuts. Are you fact checking me?
No, he's looking up Yankee notes.
Oh yeah. Hey, how are your Yankees doing right now?
A's, Astros. One other thing about Philly.
And you got to go to Ralph's. Ralph's is in the
it's in South Philly, yeah.
Old Italian part of Philadelphia, and the mob used to hang out there. It's a big old mob hangout. Food is phenomenal. I sent Road Trip Mike there. I know Kotze. What year did we start in Philadelphia?
Ooh, that was the year after when we had the lockout or the player thing, the thing with the CBA where it started like a week late. You were at the Masters. Was that 21 or 2? Might have been 22.
I was at the Masters. So
yeah, 50th birthday. So, 2022.
But Mark Kotze took the entire staff over to Ralph. So, Independence Hall.
Tell people why you know about it.
Ralph, the great Hall of Fame writer Jason Stark told us right here on A's Cast Live. He's like, you guys got to go there. And then the two rival
Pats and Geno's. I've had better there.
Doesn't matter. You know what? I hate that. I hate that. You snobs. I've had better. I've got to.
I had them this time.
I'm a tourist. I like to do tourist things.
The one place I went was called Angelo's. It was literally like 3 buildings down from Ralph's. I walked in. I was like, hey, there's Ralph's. Jason Stark told Towny and I we need to go there.
All right, so it's Pat and Geno's. I made the mistake of I'm going to have one at each.
Oh boy, those are big cheesesteaks.
I did not feel well.
Yeah, no, yeah,
you
shouldn't.
I smoked down back-to-back cheesesteaks because I felt like I had to, and it's like, what's the difference? Well, after you eat one at one and one at the other, you feel so awful. It doesn't matter. I was stuffed. I couldn't even eat dinner. We had these big dinner reservations. I'm like, I can't eat dinner. I've smoked down 2 different cheesesteaks.
We walked into this bar waiting for our cheesesteak in Angelo's, and it's me, my buddy, and one other person. And there's the bartender working, and there's one patron in there. It's middle-aged, probably maybe 50s guy. We're talking, and he has the Philly accent. He's ripping the Eagles. He's ripping the Sixers. The Flyers when he brought up. Then he probably didn't know the Flyers play in Philadelphia. And then, of course, he's like, the Phillies are the greatest team in the history of baseball. And, well, A's won in there 1, 2, 3.
Phillies do got a cool thing going right now.
Yeah, well. They've lost 4 of 6.
They've got it. Phillies.
Oh yeah, they got a great clubhouse.
I'm not. Just the whole vibe of the city. They've had it for a while now. They had it when they won in 2008 and lost in the World Series to the Yankees in 2009. But they've got something going right now. The city they've got all the different uniforms. You got Bryce Harper. I mean, it's a rocking atmosphere. We've seen it in the playoffs. Philly Live. I've been to Philly Live right next door. We're also Philly you got me into Philly. So Philly,
it's okay.
You got the Flyers and the Sixers, and then the Eagles, and then the Phillies. They all play in the same spot, and then they got like Texas Live we talked about.
Yeah.
They've got Philly Live, restaurants and bars all right there. Super, super cool.
By there also is a casino.
What?
Right down the street from there's a casino. Also,
I don't gamble. I'm a Major League Baseball.
I don't either. I just saw it. I was looking. I say that's a live casino. They have one of those in Western PA.
I do not gamble. I am excited about this series, and I'll tell you why. Because the A's right now, even though yesterday's loss was awful, the A's right now, offensively, and they're throwing the ball well, but offensively, bullpen actually has been pretty good. They have been the best offensive team in baseball in July. The notes have it. Since the start of July, no team has scored more runs in the majors than the A's at 110. Let me ask you a question. What's the most important thing to do in this game?
Well, I'm not going to go run prevention. I'm going to go run scored.
We got to score runs to beat the other team, right?
Correct, yes.
So they're scoring more runs than anybody else. And you've got, since the start of June, the best record in baseball is the Astros at 27-14. So we know how good the Astros have been for all these years. But the A's have been awful against the Astros because they couldn't stand up against them.
Yeah.
The way they're playing now, I want to see, can Lawrence Butler remain as hot? Can Brent Rooker remain as hot as he's been? Can this offense continue to slug, hit with runners in scoring position, do the things it takes to score runs. Can they do that against the Astros? They've already beaten Arrighetti earlier this year.
It's only won all years when we lost 6 or 7, but the one was against Arrighetti in Houston.
When was that? I don't
May
remember.
25th or something, right? It was sometime in May.
So let's go. I mean, this is the time that I want to see. So much is about the growth and the future for the Athletics. Let's see the young guys face up against the Astros. Let's see what you got.
Yeah, Rooker's reached base safely in every game he's played in so far in July, which is awesome. His batting, he's quietly, was he at 296, I think now? He's close. There's only 13 guys in baseball hitting 300. Rooker can potentially join that group.
Isn't it amazing when you see, and like Andujar has consecutive 3-hit games. He's now hitting over 300. He's hitting 340 in the last 11 games. Isn't it amazing how everybody tried to tell you batting average doesn't matter? But all of a sudden, when a guy does have a batting average, it makes him stand out above the rest.
Yeah, I mean, especially with Rooker. I mean, him and Andujar have been great. Lawrence Butler's been doing really well. He's had 22 runs batted in the month of July, which is, I mean, the Philly series, then he came home and he had a great night Friday night. But yeah, seeing the two guys in Rooker and Andujar has been great. Seeing those guys put the ball in play, and it would have been awesome to see Jacob Wilson too. But that's so unfortunate with the hamstring. Because first at bat hit and then hurts the hamstring. It would be great to have 3 guys in the lineup with that kind of context or ball, bat the ball skills, as they say.
I am so bummed because if you watch this show in spring training, I was having a good time with Jacob Wilson going, "Hey, you're sizing all these guys up, aren't you?" Yeah. And he laughed. I went, "No, you are. You're sizing these guys up." So, and we've had Jacob Wilson on when he got promoted to Midland. We brought him on this show. We've been kind of pumping him up his whole time, and then on the post-game show, I've been calling for him. Then he finally makes his debut, and I don't get to see him.
Yeah, well, I was here for Ace Cast.
You represented?
I represented.
Did you go talk to him?
I did not. He was. I did get some good video, B-roll, as they say in the biz, as we say in the biz, of him taking some hacks in the cage. Then he just first play of the game, grounder to shortstop, great play, hitting his first at bat. So I was excited, but he's going to miss some time now with the left hamstring strain. So
and on that note, this is awful news. I don't know if Martin Gallegos has tweeted it out yet. We were all in the scrum. Wrist procedure today. Look up, see what Michael. Look to see what Martin Gallegos put on Twitter. But a wrist procedure today, and our guy. We're not going to see him. Ruiz is done.
I saw he left the game early because he was having wrist issues.
He had a procedure today, and he is done.
Yeah, nothing from our team.
Nothing?
The other thing, too, we saw it was yesterday, Luis Medina is going to get his elbow looked at, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had that yesterday.
Yeah.
But, the future of Ruiz, what this year – I mean, the guy led the American League in stolen bases, broke the American League rookie record for stolen bases the year before, and then all of a sudden, for some reason, hit over 300 with runners in scoring position, fell out of favor.
Yeah.
Fell out of favor in spring training. Said if Miguel Andujar wouldn't have hurt his knee, he wouldn't even have made the team. So the future of his career, the future of him here with the Athletics. Let's ask the general manager when he comes over here a little bit later after Nick Kurtz. Let's we have to ask, what really is the future of a guy who, when you told us that he wouldn't have made the team if Andujar, he obviously has a skill. He's got a skill set. Still 67 bases.
Yeah.
And at times came up with some really key hits. He has a flair for the moment. What does he have to do to get back on your radar?
And it's okay. Yeah, they're almost ready for Nick Kurtz. That's the great Mark Lang that we're waving
Great
to.
Mark Lang. He's the head of our PR.
Correct, yes.
We don't get a lot of guests unless Mark Lang makes that happen. So you gotta,
very true.
You gotta, folks. Let me tell you, when you're in business, sometimes you got to kiss a little, to make things happen. So people around here, we make sure we're constantly we're spreading flowers. You know what I mean? giving people compliments. We're telling them how great they are, because without them, we don't get certain guests. So you got to be nice to them. So sometimes you just got to be nice to people. That's a tip of the day. What's the Towny tip of the day?
What is it? ELE. Everyone love everyone.
Yeah, I brought my boss. You know what I did for my boss today?
No. Oh, you brought him jam.
Brought him guava jam from the islands.
Did you see him already and give it to him?
I went right into the TV truck. Do you know while we're all out here roasting, I got sunscreen. You have sunscreen on?
Yeah.
I have sunscreen on. It's 65 degrees in there because all of the equipment has to be cool.
Mm-hmm.
So the TV trucks are taking up all the power in California, and it's like a meat locker in there. No wonder why they never show up out here. It's like a meat locker.
Between that and Raider Vito's control room.
The control room, Diamond Vision, whatever they call it. It used to be Diamond Vision.
It's A's Vision, whatever we call it now. I just call it the control room.
No wonder we're having power outages. Everybody's using all the air conditioning here at the Coliseum.
And there's days where I come and I have to open the windows, and I'm like, oh, this is a bad idea.
We don't have air conditioning in our booth. So I went in the TV truck. Yeah, I brought my boss a little jam from the islands because that's his thing. He likes the guava jam.
You got that. You got it. And then we gifted you a Rehoboth Beach, Delaware shirt, the home of Zach Geloff.
Oh, I thought you in honor of Joe Biden.
Well, I'm not. I guess you could say I'm the gift giver, like Nick Castellanos' gift giver, where Castellanos says home runs when things happen. I just give gifts and then things happen.
Yeah, the day that you gave me the shirt, he steps down.
Yeah, Castellanos had a home run
from the
course.
Election.
Yeah, and Castellanos had a home run, of course. Anytime there's a disaster, anything goes wrong, Castellanos does something. Was it a few weeks ago, the assassination attempt on Donald Trump in Pennsylvania? Castellanos had a home run. It needs to be studied. It needs to be studied. Yeah, there's a list of things.
Okay.
We'll go over the Tom Brenneman incident in Kansas City.
Oh, God.
There's a career-threatening injury for Tatis. Eulogy for a World War II veteran. A 9/11 tribute video package on the air. Apology of opposing team's coach getting a DUI. 10 minutes after Will Smith slapped Chris Rock.
10 minutes after?
That's what the list says. I saw this earlier. Dwayne, former Ohio State and Steeler quarterback Dwayne Haskins passing away. Eulogy for the just deceased PA announcer for the stadium. Cancer announcement for his team's owner. Vin Scully's passing announcement. An hour after the death of Queen Elizabeth was announced. The bridge collapse, killing several people. The Ocean Gate submarine explosion. 3 other celebrities. 2 home runs.
The sub that went down?
Yeah. It's wild.
Come on. Let's do this headset right here. You're going to have to move the camera just to get him into the shot. He's
it's like
tall.
when we have emo on, yeah.
Yeah. How you doing? I'm Chris Townsend.
Nick Kurtz, nice to meet you.
I'm the A's guy.
Glad to be here.
It is great to have you here. How you just met with the media?
Yeah.
How was it?
It was good. You know, there was a lot of people asking a lot of questions.
Yeah.
But it was cool. It was fun. It's a good new experience.
You know, I was thinking about, how we were going to lead this off today. And it's so interesting, the process that you guys go through now. Because I was sitting there, I watch MLB Network like everybody else. And they came to Wake Forest, and they did a whole special on you guys. Years ago in my era when we played, guys got drafted. No one knew about it. It was a phone call.
Yep.
And the next day you ended up in the newspaper. You're already on MLB Network before you ever get drafted. You go through the whole process now. We've made it a big deal in July. Now that all has happened, you've signed. Where are you now? Talk about just the relief that it's finally, you got your team, you've signed the contract, ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a weight off your shoulders kind of feeling. I mean, that's where the pressure is. The pressure is getting to this day and kind of getting it all down. Now it's just, let's go do what I've been doing my entire life and just go have fun and help the team win wherever I am as much as I can.
When you look at certain drafts, speaking of a guy like, because I know you talked to Mark Kurtz, a guy that he played with back in the day at Cal State Fullerton, everybody knew Phil Nevin was going number 1. This was a draft where people didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like? Did you think, could you go number 1 or is it 2? Is it 4? I mean, it was kind of all over the board when you looked at all the mock drafts.
Yeah, I really had no idea. I mean, just until I had some good meetings with a lot of teams in the top 10, but you didn't really know until that day came. You got that phone call. That's when it really sat in. People had guesses. I had thought that, this was going to happen one way or another, but you never know when that day comes, and getting that call and receiving that call was one of the best feelings ever.
Well, I can tell you this: one of the great things about being drafted about this organization, you're not going to be blocked. Like there's certain organizations, it doesn't matter where you picked, you could be blocked. Here, if you produce, and it doesn't matter where you're drafted, you're a free agent, you're a minor league free agent. We see it every single year. If you produce, you'll get to the big leagues. You'll get to the big leagues fast. Have they talked to you about that?
Not me personally, but, I spoke with Jacob Wilson earlier today, who, was called up within the first year, and and seeing that is pretty awesome to see, if I, perform like I think I will, and there's a good chance I could be up here pretty quick. And that's what you kind of look for when you're getting signed and going to an organization, is doing whatever you can to get up to the big leagues and help the team win.
Yeah, it's amazing. College baseball has changed so much from my era to where you guys are now. The amount of data, I've looked into like some of these ACC schools, some of these SEC schools, the work that's actually done with the hospitals where they've done with stuff with like Tommy John and health and everything. Just talk about you're coming into pro ball with so much experience on what they love and data. Just talk about how just you have all that knowledge already. There's a lot to learn, but you come in with a lot of knowledge.
Yeah, I feel like I'm lucky in that way that I picked a school where, we have the pitching lab, we have biomechanics, we have all this data and analytics stuff that, we have a full analytical team. I think that I'm one of the lucky ones who kind of has a head start on all that stuff. Being able to understand the information that they're putting in front of you, being able to use different technology to kind of understand stuff in my swing or different preparation for pitchers and just game planning every single day. I think that's something I'm kind of used to already. That's something I kind of know. So I think that I will have a little bit of an advantage because of that, from coming from such a prestigious school like Wake Forest and all that they have.
Well, the thing that will be a big difference for you now is now you're going to go play in the minor leagues where they don't have all that.
Yeah.
It's like you're kind of going to be going back in time. I'll be able to ask you this in spring training next year, but I'm going to be real curious what your answer is, because we're not in certain parts of the minor leagues, we're not going to have what Wake Forest has.
Yeah, I mean, also I think it's a pro and a con. Sometimes you get too much information and you can't understand all of it. And minor leagues will go back to that simple-minded approach. He does this well, and what am I going to do to combat that? I think that can help a lot of people. I think it can help me in parts of my game as well. Sometimes I get too heavy on the analytical side. Yeah. Sometimes I need to simplify the game because, you overcomplicate things. Baseball's already hard, and you can make it even harder.
And a lot about this game, people forget, it's about how good an athlete you are. You're a basketball guy, right?
Back in the day,
Back in the day. Well, I mean, look at his size. He's a power forward. How much has that helped you, basketball translating over to baseball?
Yeah, I think that all the things that you do in basketball can help you in some way in baseball, whether it's agility, whether it's just conditioning in general. There's some things that you can't do in baseball that you get in basketball. You're not going to be able to, shuffle side to side and jump and dunk on someone or block someone's shot or do all that things that, basketball kind of prepared me for and made me just more athletic in general.
Yeah, posterizing a guy with the big dunk. I'll never know what that's like. I bet that wouldn't that just, you just go up and it's just the best. When you think about your game, tell us your biggest strengths.
Yeah, I think my swing decisions and my pitch recognition is one of my better things. I mean, I think I do hit the ball to all fields well. I can backspin a baseball. I can hit with power, but my ability to swing at the right pitches, take my walks, and get those advantage counts where I can really do damage, I think that's what makes me a very good player, very good hitter.
And what are the things that you most want to work on? You're not going to have a lot of time, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. What are the big things you want to work on early when you start playing pro ball?
Yeah, I think defense is something you can always keep on working on, whether that's either being able to play another position, whether that's being able to do other things at first base I couldn't normally do, and also just left-handed pitchers, getting very comfortable facing a lefty. Especially now, I mean, the 3-batter rule is helpful when you don't, they can't just bring in a lefty to face one guy. But being able to really feel comfortable in the box against those guys and not change anything right to left and have the splits pretty even is something I'm going to work on for sure.
Versatility is huge. We know all that, but obviously being left-handed, there's only so we're not going to put you short. I think Jake and Wilson and Max,
I think they got that down.
Where are you comfortable playing beyond first base?
I've played corner outfield in the years past. That's where I started playing at Wake Forest my freshman year, was in the corner outfields. I haven't played there in a little bit, but you give me some time and I could learn how to play that position again and just, make those plays.
Because you're athletic enough to do it, right?
Because basketball.
Yeah,
because I played basketball.
I'm athletic enough. I can play it. That's great. So have they told you where you're going first?
Heading to Arizona tomorrow. That's all I know for right now. Meet everybody, meet the staff down in Arizona, meet the other draft picks, and just, kind of build a good culture was what I hope to do. And, then we'll go from there.
How excited are you? Like the world's your oyster right now. You just signed, you got the financial security, you got everything in front of you. and now you just get to go play. Like,
Yeah,
how excited are you?
that's what I dreamed of a kid, just not worrying about all those other outside factors, and it's just me and the game. That's what you look forward to. That's what I can't wait to start doing. Feel like forever since I played a game, and I'm so much looking forward to just getting back out there.
Well, I'll tell you what, we are super excited about getting you here. Well, it won't be here, but it'll be in Sacramento, getting you up there, and then, of course, Las Vegas. So we are very excited. Congratulations.
Awesome. Thank you very much. It's
so
awesome
happy
this
for you. And
Thank
remember, you're going to be on this show a lot.
Yep.
A's Cast Live. That's your number one pick right here on A's Cast.
Where does one community end and the next begin? Across the railroad tracks? On the other side of the river? Is it between the east side and the west side? At Comerica Bank, we believe it's all one community, and we're all part of it. That's why Comerica has invested over $20 million for affordable housing, financial education, and workforce development in lower-income communities. Because when we raise expectations for everyone, we all rise. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Hi, fans. This season, Kingsford Capital Management is the official hedge fund sponsor of the Oakland A's. At Kingsford, down to business is their way of seeing the world. Investing has its pitfalls, treacherous chasms of half-truth and despair. Kingsford's mission is to create opportunity through application of proven innovation and entrepreneurial focus with trust, tenacity, loyalty, and growth, establishing a strong reputation as a proven intendant and validated bedrock of American finance. Kingsford Capital, down to business.
August 5th is International Trading Card Day, and Topps would like to celebrate with you. Visit your participating local hobby shop to receive a pack of cards, plus receive a special card if you purchase $10 or more of Topps products, while supplies last. You can also celebrate International Trading Card Day with Topps on August 5th at the Oakland Coliseum and receive an exclusive A's card pack. Follow @Topps on social media and visit Topps.com for more information.
Hey, Oakland A's fans, step up to the plate with Xfinity Internet. Get the fastest speeds and low-lag streaming for an incredible viewing experience that knocks it out of the park. And you'll have a consistent connection with reduced buffering and freezing, so you can stay in all the action inning after inning. When it's game time, make sure to catch it all with internet that's powerful and reliable. Stream sports from the best seat in the house with Xfinity, because it's only live once. Actual speeds vary and not guaranteed. Many factors affect speed. For factors affecting speed, visit Xfinity.com/network management.
This is the place where you can dance like nobody's watching, win like nobody's business, and get away like you mean it. So what are you waiting for? Come join the party. Take that evening out and make it a night you'll never forget. This kind of action can't be beat.
It's summertime, and I can guarantee you probably need to redo your wardrobe. You want to look good, and you want to feel comfortable. This is Chris Townsend, and you got to go check out my friends at Link Soul. They've got all the finest fabrics. You're going to love the shirts, the polos, the shorts, you name it. Redo your look for summertime. Go to linksoul.com right now, and you can get an offer for 20% off. Remember, in the big leagues, to play good, you got to look good.
With more sunshine returning, it's time to get outside and make the most of what Cinnabar Hills Golf Club has to offer. Like 27 championship caliber holes tucked in the beautiful hills of San Jose. And take advantage of their amazing Bay Area views for your next special event. It's all for you at Cinnabar Hills Golf Club, an award-winning venue designed to peacefully take you away from the bustle of Silicon Valley. Go to cinnabarhills.com. That's cinnabarhills.com.
A's Cast Live continues from Rickey Henderson Field. Here's Chris Townsend.
Well, the great Jose Canseco is going to be joining us in just a little bit. We taped it yesterday. Jose will be at 5:30.
You sandwich me between Kurtz and Canseco. So do I get, between the three of us, we got a bunch of homers? Is that how it works?
Well, I wanted to bring the real athlete, the middle infielder from Harvard, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the deal. When they came and they talked to you and you basically said, listen, I'm getting a great education and I'm going to go run a Major League Baseball team. I'm not going to go to the minor leagues. I'm too smart to be bussing around the country. I know what your game was.
Fending off offers. For
it was a good move.
Thank you.
You know, bet like the old days.
My mother thinks so too.
The great college football players would never go because there wasn't an NFL. It was just pro football, and they wanted to be lawyers and doctors.
You're
and paid
going,
a lot
you're
more
going
money.
way back now.
That's
neither,
like you.
Neither of us are that old.
You were too smart for that. How have you been?
Good. I'm doing well. This is always a fun day. Draft was a fun week. It was great to have the group in. So, and 2 series wins in a row for the guys. So we're doing well.
So Canseco did talk about how, like, late 80s, when they get, as they say, when the team got off the bus, you had some big dudes. You're starting to, like, I'm looking at this kid. I'm looking at Lawrence Spot. I mean, you're starting to mass. You got a pretty decent basketball lineup right now. If we get a basketball game going.
I watched you from over there looking up at Nick while you were interviewing him. So, yeah, no, we're right up there in homers in baseball, and it's the best and easiest way to score runs. But the offense has done a really nice job. These guys are coming around. They're making progress, which is what we asked.
Did you think he would fall to you? He'd be there?
Not in January, I didn't. As the season went along and sort of mock drafts and rumors come out, I think we felt like he was our guy, and we felt like there was a good chance. But, when we didn't get the first pick overall in the lottery in December, and then we had our meetings in January before the season, I think we all felt like it was a long shot because he was kind of the guy we had targeted the last 12 months. Worked out great, though.
Let's see. He's big. He's got power. He's got a good eye. He walks. Kind of seems like your dream draft.
He was the guy. Yeah, I mean, does it all offensively. He plays really well around the bag at first base. Like, we sit down and talk to a lot of these guys, both at the combine, and then we do Zoom meetings. And a lot of the hitters who've had a ton of success can't always articulate what they're doing or why they're having success. Nick was a kid who we put him one-on-one with Scott Hatteberg, and they talked hitting for like 20 minutes back and forth, and you could tell he had a process. He knew what he was doing. He knew why he was swinging at strikes. He knew why he was having success. It was really fun to listen to.
So one of the things I said to him, because I want to talk about how Wake Forest, if you read up on it, places like Wake, schools in the ACC, the SEC, the football money and basketball money's got so big, it filters into all the other programs. And they've done a great job at Wake Forest, where they even have people who are trying to someday become orthopedic surgeons in the campus hospital,
right,
working with the baseball team, right? So it's high-level stuff. And I kind of laughed with them going, you're going to go to the minor leagues, and they're not going to have all the stuff that Wake Forest has.
Yeah.
That's a big change.
That's absolutely the case. Those programs you're talking about, ACC, SEC, they're putting a lot of money into baseball. Obviously, Wake has the pitching lab, which is well documented. And in fact, we hired one of the guys from Wake's pitching lab, Mike McFerrin, our minor league, what's his title? Pitching development coach,
guru,
whatever. Mike's done great since we hired him in the offseason. But these guys are coming out of college with so much more information, so much more polished than they ever have before. And, obviously we saw with Jacob, who's here exactly a year after he signs, and you hope that Nick is on a similar trajectory.
So when you think about this overall draft, what are you really happy about this draft?
Look, I think our group did a great job, particularly in the top 10 picks with, you have the pool to work with. You have the ability to move some money around. I think we really, really did a great job right at the top, getting Nick, moving money so that Tommy White and Gage Jump were both guys we were able to pay over slot in the second and third picks. And then also down lower, a couple high school guys, Josiah Romero, Dylan Feen, guys we really liked. We weren't sure we'd be able to afford, but it's a good sort of diverse class. Athletes, Josh Kuroda-Grauer from Rutgers, the guy we had targeted, similar Rodney Green, who was out here on Friday. These guys are, really impressive athletes with baseball skills.
You've taken your lumps the past couple of years, and of course, your stand-up guy, you've talked about it. I get the sense there's some excitement, right? We're seeing Lawrence Butler, seeing Jacob Will, like you got the draft picks. There's starting to really be a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, well, look, the guys in the field are creating it. They're making progress. Lawrence went down to AAA, came back with a different mindset, a different work ethic. Tyler came back up. It's a bummer that he's hurt now, but you saw the difference when he came back up and the swings he put on it. And if you look around with Lang and Geloff and what Shu's doing, you get Jacob healthy. You've got Rook and Andujar in the middle of the lineup. JJ's, solidified center field. Like, there's a lot of progress out there.
Yes.
And the guys deserve the credit for putting in the work. And that is what we've sort of been working towards, to be able to see what sort of the foundation of this team looks like going forward.
So your number one pick, he hits 400 at every level. You bring him up, whack, base hit. Next thing you know, up, hamstring.
Kind of unbelievable.
What was that? I mean, what was it like?
Yeah, I mean, it's the high and low of the whole development process in like 60 seconds. It's, yeah, I feel, obviously feel so bad for Jacob.
Yeah.
It was such a great day. He makes his debut. His parents are here. He's got tons of friends, drove up from Southern Cal. And then he doesn't miss a beat. His first at bat, he fouls off the first pitch, second pitch, just like he did. He's got that little wand and bloops it into center. So I don't know. I guess it's a little glimpse, but it is a bummer. We hope it's just a few weeks that he's down, and maybe get some time to put in big league work in the weight room and the training room.
He's special.
Yeah,
there's just something about he's, as you mentioned, a wand, and that's what I've been talking about on the post-game show all the time. If you looked at guys like Tony Gwynn, Wade Box, these guys when they're in the minor leagues, they were just clearly they hit better than everybody else. And then it finally is like, well, you got to bring up, and then you bring them up, and they still just hit better than it. It's hard to explain it. It's just they got it.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about Jacob obviously over the last year, you and I, and what's it going to take for him to get here. And I mean, like I said, he hit 400 everywhere. Like it came to the point where we just couldn't keep him down anymore. Shu's done a really nice job at short, but he also is incredibly valuable if you move him around. And ironically, he's back at short now after 3 innings of Jacob. But yeah, he had to be here, and it's a bummer that it turned out that way his first night.
The coaching staff, I've tried to highlight this lately. When you start talking about some wins, people need to realize, this coaching staff, how much of themselves they invest into these players. Wins, losses, it's every day they invest everything they got. Just how happy are you that – I mean, there's still a long way to go, but there's been some better times. How happy are you for your staff?
Yeah, well, for Mark and the staff. I mean, that's what you hope for, is they get to sort of enjoy the benefits, because it's been 2.5 years now. Their work hasn't wavered at all. And they haven't gotten to enjoy a lot of nights. So when you do win some games, like I said, you win 2 out of 3 in Philly, you win 2 out of 3 here against Anaheim, probably should have been 3 out of 3.
Yeah.
You feel like going forward, you got a chance to win some games. Like, those are the guys who deserve to enjoy a drink after the game rather than kind of have to put their head down. So it's not a surprise to me. I mean, Mark put together a great staff, and guys like Bushy and Emo and Emar, Marcus, these guys have been here for a long time. I know how hard they work.
Well, I got some good news, and I can't wait to correct myself in the post game. I thought Andujar after this year was just going to be a free agent.
No.
Andujar is not. You still have him under control, which is really good news.
Yeah, Miggy's here, and when we made the trade for him, we knew we had 2 years of control. So, yeah, he's just arbitration eligible next year. So it's no surprise that he's being talked about a lot out there, but we're really happy with what he's done here.
This is the first time in a long time where I've always been like, trade, right? We got so used to you guys always made moves, especially when the team was good. Like, you make moves, or used to making moves. This is like the first time it's like, I don't want you to do anything. I just want to see these guys grow together.
All right, here's my phone. Here, I'll see you in a week.
Take it. Throw this in the pool. And
we'll be opportunistic. We may do some things, but I think anyone who expects that we're going to, continue to just move guys out and, turn them over for prospects is probably going to be disappointed the next week, because there's guys here we think are going to be part of the team for, beyond this year.
Yeah, and they're under control. Like, everybody is controllable. Like, you're not dealing with the free agency or what. I mean, you want to have, you're going to a new place. I mean, it's something we're not going to get into, but I mean, you want to have some sizzle on the steak.
For sure.
You're getting a lot of calls though, aren't you?
Yeah.
Is it fun?
I enjoy talking to my, my colleagues.
Yeah.
So those conversations are good. I without getting into specifics, the 3 or 4 guys I talked to today, it's just nice to catch up and see how, we can bitch about our jobs to each other. And, everybody's got something to complain about, but it's fun.
Is anybody happy? Is there 30 guys? There's more than 30.
Dombrowski's got the best record in baseball. I think he's happy.
He's the first GM I ever interviewed in my career. Whenever, he used to always come out, right, with the Tigers, and he'd always come on because I was like, when I was years ago and I was working at KMBR, he was with the Marlins. He was the first GM. And he's such a great guy.
Dave's great. He's been good to me since the first day I was working in this job underneath Billy and Paul, and he's fun to talk to, and that he's creative and wants to win. So it's good to talk to guys like that.
There's different titles, right? Like certain guys are VP of this and president of this, and then there's GMs and assistant GMs. How do you decide who you talk to?
It's just the relationship. I mean, I'll talk to Dave or Sam Fold in Philadelphia. Dave's the president. Sam's the GM. Obviously, I go way back with Sam. So it's sort of organic how it works out. Breslow's the president of baseball ops in Boston. I'll talk to Brez because I have a relationship. But it just happens. I've always told you the relationships are how deals get made anyways. So whoever you go back further with and you have comfort talking to, kind of how it works out.
By the way, having Sam Fold on at the winter meetings, it's like weird. Like I used to have him on the pregame show as a player, and then now, like if it's weird for me, is it weird for you?
It is. We're getting old. These guys who were players while we were working, now they're doing our jobs.
I used to go up and go, "Hey man, I need somebody on the pregame today. Can you come on?"
We claimed Breslow off waivers, and now I got to call him and talk trade.
Can't somebody come in and blow your doors down?
I guess. Yeah. I mean, you never say no. You kind of have to leave open doors for opportunity because, I mean, you can't say there's absolutely no deal I would make, but I, like I said at the beginning, I like what's happening here. I like the foundation that we're building, that Mark has put in the time. So we'll see. We got a week from Wednesday, a week from tomorrow. So I don't have to talk to you before then. So the next time we talk, we'll know what the outcome is.
I'll just predict it now. I don't think any of the players that, and we're not going to mention names, but any of the players we think about and talk about on the postgame show, I don't think he even get moved.
Okay.
I was saying Andujar, but now that I know he doesn't have to go, I'm taking him off. He's off the board.
You're allowed one retraction. Cody said that's okay.
He is off the board. But if somebody was to come in and offer whatever it would be, what is that like for you? Like, how much do you have to wait? Do you have to sleep on it? Gut feeling? Just what is that like as a general manager when somebody, it's like someone's like, hey, this steak is great.
Yeah.
And, oh, by the way, tiramisu coming after that. Like, how do you turn it down? Like, how do you process it?
I mean, luckily we have a really good group in place to sort of do that process between the guys in the office, the guys out in the field, Billy Owens, Grady, Scott Hatterberg, Chris Pitaro. Those guys are out seeing players all year long. So I feel really confident in our process to evaluate players, and that helps me sort of make a decision ultimately about what we're getting. I mean, I know really well what we might be trading, but it's important to feel good about what you're getting. And I feel great with the process that we've had in place now for a few years. So that helps make the decision.
Let's talk a little health here. I hated hearing about Medina and the elbow. Do we know anything more?
He's going to go get a second opinion from Dr. Meister here in the next few days, and we'll have an idea then. But yeah, it was too bad. Louis is a guy with only 21 starts under his belt. It's exactly at the point you want these guys to learn at the big league level. So that was disappointing.
Because I'm worried if he does do Tommy John, it's going to be after the second opinion. We say ignore him about 14 months.
Yeah,
that'd pretty much eat up all next year.
The timing of 2025 is difficult. So, yeah, there's never a good time, but right now, you think about eating up almost a full season and a half. So we'll wait and see what Dr. Meister says.
So Ruiz with the wrist wasn't going well, and he had a procedure done on the wrist.
He had another injection on his wrist, and it's going to be immobilized for a while. So he's back on hold, unfortunately, after being out on rehab.
You pretty much predict he'd be out for the rest of the year?
The medical staff hasn't said that yet, but it obviously doesn't look good.
How does he get back into you viewing him as an everyday player here at this level?
It's hard when he's missed as much time. He just has to go out there and play, and whether that's winter ball or whether we have to push it to next year, he's got to go out there and play.
Saw Stripling. He's been pitching. When do we think we'll see Ross?
I think we'll see Ross this week.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I think Blackburn's probably on a similar schedule. So it would be nice to get those two guys back, hopefully sometime soon.
Yeah, man, want to get it's like we've never been able, because we know when Paul Blackburn's going good, he ends up in the All-Star game.
Right.
He's a local guy. It's like we've never gotten to get just healthy, regular Paul Blackburn.
Yeah, I think last 2 years, 20 and 21 starts each, and only, 8 this year. So obviously, yeah, we know what Paul can do when he's out there. So I'm hopeful he gets back out there here sometime in the next few days.
And what about Wood?
Woody's not going as well. So Woody's going to go get another opinion on his shoulder later this week, and we'll know more then. But he's unfortunately hit a couple road bumps on his way back.
Yeah, I hate to hear that for a veteran pitcher.
Yep.
Seth Brown now playing first base. Hadn't been playing a lot. Like some of the guys down AAA, like a guy like Ryan Noda, do we think we'll see them at any point back here in Oakland?
Yeah, I think there's a couple guys down there. We're definitely talking about conversation-wise trying to get them back. But when the opportunity came up and Tyler got hurt, I mean, Brownie was killing it down there, 7 homers and pretty limited at bats. So it made sense to get him back here. And obviously the homers he hit in Philly, like the swing looks a lot better than when he left.
How important is it to have that great communication with Fran Reardon and his staff to know that when guys go down, this is what we want them to do, this is what we want them to improve,
right,
and for them down there to implement it to help those guys get better?
You know, it's one of the things I think Mark has done really well since he's been the manager, and you talk about the coaches. He's made sure that our coaches and the AAA coaches constantly talking. We have a really good process now when guys either get sent down or come back up. We have a lot of written information about what they've been doing at either place, and it's really good communication. Mark was adamant about that when he kind of took over his chair, and it's really helped everybody out.
No, you've said this now that the way the trading deadline and everything has worked, there's not the waiver wire process. It's like the GM's good all the way up till the trading deadline. Then after that,
you think I'm going on vacation?
Cancun.
I may get to play a little more tennis than I have until now, but otherwise I don't think it's vacation.
Well, we're looking forward to it. Going to be interesting. I don't think we're going to see I don't think in the whole industry. The splashes at the winter meetings haven't been in a while. The trade would you say the business has changed?
It feels harder to make trades than it was 10 years ago. But there's always, if you find the right guys, there's always stuff out there to do. So I don't want to, use a big broad brush for everything, because you will see some trades in the next 8 days that'll be like, oh, didn't know that could happen. Maybe not the quantity, but there'll be some guys moved.
Just don't give them a call until after the deadline.
Don't give me a call?
And your friends, you're busy. Is that the worst? Like someone's calling you like, honey, you going to the grocery store? And you're like, I'm on the phone with Dave Dombrowski.
It's part of the job.
All right. Good to see you.
See you guys.
David Forst, the general manager of your Oakland Athletics. Coming up next, the great Jose Canseco right here on A's Cast Live.
Where does one community end and the next begin? Across the railroad tracks? On the other side of the river? Is it between the east side and the west side? At Comerica Bank, we believe it's all one community, and we're all part of it. That's why Comerica has invested over $20 million for affordable housing, financial education, and workforce development in lower-income communities. Because when we raise expectations for everyone, we all rise. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Being a Chevron car these days has been quite the adventure. Miami to Seattle, ocean to ocean. I've stopped at so many states and collected so many bumper stickers. Sometimes I feel like a moving passport book. It's just so great what I can do with Chevron with Techron, because it gives me unbeatable mileage and keeps my engine clean. Plus, there are so many Chevrons along the way. Now the only thing I'm worried about is where to go next and where to put all my new bumper stickers. Chevron with Techron, fueled by possibility.
August 5th is International Trading Card Day, and Topps would like to celebrate with you. Visit your participating local hobby shop to receive a pack of cards, plus receive a special card if you purchase $10 or more of Topps products while supplies last. You can also celebrate International Trading Card Day with Topps on August 5th at the Oakland Coliseum and receive an exclusive A's card pack. Follow @Topps on social media and visit Topps.com for more information.
If you haven't been to the Chicken Pie Shop in Walnut Creek, what are you waiting for? You're going to love the new menu, and it's a great place to watch all the games. Come taste their world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 86 years. They have a new spring menu with special dishes and a full bar with new delicious spring cocktails. Spacious indoor and outdoor dining, perfect for your next corporate party or birthday celebration. Don't forget free parking. For more information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
It's summertime, and I can guarantee you probably need to redo your wardrobe. You want to look good, and you want to feel comfortable. This is Chris Townsend, and you got to go check out my friends at Link Soul. They've got all the finest fabrics. You're going to love the shirts, the polos, the shorts, you name it. Redo your look for summertime. Go to linksoul.com right now, and you can get an offer for 20% off. Remember, in the big leagues, to play good, you got to look good.
Hey, Oakland A's fans, step up to the plate with Xfinity Internet. Get the fastest speeds and low-lag streaming for an incredible viewing experience that knocks it out of the park. And you'll have a consistent connection with reduced buffering and freezing, so you can stay in all the action inning after inning. When it's game time, make sure to catch it all with internet that's powerful and reliable. Stream sports from the best seat in the house with Xfinity, because it's only live once. Actual speeds vary and not guaranteed. Many factors affect speed. For factors affecting speed, visit xfinity.com/network management.
Nestled in the hills of San Jose, minutes from Silicon Valley, Cinnabar Hills Golf Club offers 27 holes of championship golf, a first-class pro shop, practice facility, and great food in the grill. This time of year also means family and business get-togethers. Let the folks at Cinnabar Hills make your event unforgettable while enjoying their award-winning venue. It's all there for you. Championship golf, a great space for any events, and incredible food. See it all at CinnabarHills.com. That's CinnabarHills.com.
Hi, fans. This season, Kingsford Capital Management is the official hedge fund sponsor of the Oakland A's. At Kingsford, down to business is their way of seeing the world. Investing has its pitfalls, treacherous chasms of half-truth and despair. Kingsford's mission is to create opportunity through application of proven innovation and entrepreneurial focus with trust, tenacity, loyalty, and growth, establishing a strong reputation as a proven intendant and validated bedrock of American finance. Kingsford Capital, down to business.
This is the place where you can dance like nobody's watching, win like nobody's business, and get away like you mean it. So what are you waiting for? Come join the party. Take that evening out and make it a night you'll never forget. This kind of action can't be beat.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is the #1 brand of online mattresses and the Bay Area's favorite mattress store. Take home the Easy Breather pillow. The New York Times calls it their #1 pick. You can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and Gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland and you get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding, love where you sleep.
Looking to stay up to date on all things A's? Head over to athletics.com/A'scast. That's athletics.com/A'scast to listen to A's baseball in full 24/7 coverage of the A's, only on A's Cast. With a single click, you can stream great shows, live pre- and post-game coverage, and of course, all the great action of the A's this season. Head to athletics.com/A'scast today.
Streaming from Ricky Henderson Field, A's Cast Live continues with Chris Townsend.
Letmus Diaz has come over. He's now with the Houston Astros. He's coming over to say hi to people. He was a good guy, Letmus Diaz. I don't think he had the A's career that he really wanted to, but good to have him back.
Playing first base tonight for the Astros.
I mean, when Rockstar walks by.
I did bingo with Ruby the other day.
Did you do bingo with it?
Yeah.
Was it Cody okay at bingo? He was amazing at bingo.
Anytime, Ruby, I'll do it with you anytime.
Are you gonna start working the church circuit now, Cody?
I mean,
senior night. It's the senior championships.
At one point,
it's good to see you. Good to see you.
At one point, it was me and Dave Renetti calling bingo numbers.
You and Renetti calling bingo?
Yeah.
Wow, that's rock star of rock stars.
Well, you're getting tan. I'm here, hanging out with the people, man of the people. I'm like the Rock, the people's champ.
I work like 154, 155 games a year, and I do one vacation a year, and I catch crap for it. I'm the one working every weekend when these guys are off.
Whoa, I was here yesterday.
Were you here Saturday?
I was not here.
You gonna be here? Are you gonna work this weekend? You coming over to my house?
I can't. I'm busy.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, Michael's claiming he was here.
Team goes on the road and no one's to be found but this guy. By the way, I am so happy that I am wrong. I thought Andujar could fly after this year.
Yeah, I did too. Now, I didn't look that up, but I thought it was just like we gave him a deal because of arbitration, and then he was done. But I guess, yeah.
That is really on us because we didn't check. I don't know where I got that. I just thought, oh boy, he's gone. He's not. So I'm gonna have to correct that in the postgame show because I've been saying in the postgame show that he for sure. I thought for sure he was gone. You know, I mean, the rumblings the Yankees are calling. I mean, anybody who needs somebody hit for contact, which is all 29 other teams.
Well, the Yankees. I mean, DJ LeMahieu.
Awful.
He hit his first home run.
Glaber's terrible.
It's okay though. Judge hits home runs. That's going to carry him to a World Series.
Oh wow, that's VP greatness walking by right here. Mr. Fennell, how are you? Doing well. See, that's where the big leaguers come down.
Yeah, I mean,
we're just, it's great to see you. Yeah, hit a home run tonight. So that's something that will be corrected tonight in the postgame show.
833-625-2278.
Call right now. Scott Pastorino taking
back for vacation.
Now, I got to tell you, we interview a lot of people. We interview a lot of A's people. There is something cool though. So there's a difference in your baseball fandom when you're a little kid and these guys are larger than life. That's a way to view the game. Then there is a time in your life where you're a young baseball player and your dream is to go on and play baseball. Yeah, we all dream to play in the big leagues, but the reality is, you're not going to play in the big leagues, but you want to keep on playing. You want to play in college. You want to get drafted. You want to at least have a shot at the minor leagues. And the way you start looking at players is different. Well, that era for me, when I started to realize that, I'm going to have a chance to move on past high school and play, was the late 80s. So in the late 80s, when you get to be in this mindset, it's not so much about your favorite team. Is you really have players that you love. And no matter who they play for, you love those players. In the late 80s, for me, obviously, there's A's players. Jose Canseco is one of my favorite players of all time. He was the biggest star. In these years where where baseball is changing and becoming the biggest part of my life, and I know it's going to be a part of my future, I mean, little did I know that I would go on and play at San Jose State, and then I've been working in Major League Baseball almost 30 years. Well, when I was forming this at a young age, Jose Canseco was the biggest star. So when I sit down and talk to guys like Dennis Eckersley was a star. I feel like a kid again because it was always, being able to talk to Ray Fosse every day, seeing Vida Blue, and these guys, Reggie Jackson, when we've interviewed him, I either wasn't born or I was too young. I got to see, to me, I remember Reggie a little bit as a Yankee, and I remember Reggie as an Angel. It is what I was born in 72. So really in my era of baseball is the 80s, and especially the mid to late 80s, and Jose Canseco was the biggest star. But I love me some Stu. He was the big game hunter. I loved Deck. I loved Jose. Jose was one of my favorite, and I've been able to work with him on multiple projects. Yesterday, obviously, we got our chance to interview him. I just want to say, I know because on Saturday when he threw out the first pitch and he was announced, it was a standing ovation. Like so many people who still come to games, and even if you don't come to games, you loved Jose Canseco because when you were a kid, he was the biggest star in baseball. I know we call it Rickey Henderson Field. We call it Rickey Henderson Field, yes, because of the records, and yes, because he's from Oakland. Was Rickey Henderson a bigger star than Jose Canseco? Not when I was growing up.
No, I mean I was
no way
an infant when those guys were playing.
No way. Ricky was greatness. Ricky obviously was greatness, but the reason why, I get it. He's from Oakland, Ricky Henderson Field. Ricky Henderson was not a bigger star. Jose Canseco was a star outside of baseball. He was a little nutty, a little crazy, but Jose Canseco was a star. He was a sports. He was when you looked at American sports stars of that time, he was one of them.
I agree. And with this, when we get to this interview, I wanted to throw this joke out there. I hope everyone enjoys this interview, but one guy. It's a Jose joke. Every time he tweets something out,
because A-Rod.
I hope everyone has a great day, except one guy.
Does Jose talk about that? Was this off the air when we talked about the book, or is that on?
No, he talked about it on the air.
I mean, it's a really good point.
It's a good book too.
If Jose doesn't write that book, that really made people go, Jose's full of it, but made everybody think. How would the steroid era been different? Because all of a sudden we started after Jose Canseco's book, people really started to question, well, how many of these guys really are on PEDs? Jose's crazy and then all of a sudden other guys came out and said, oh yeah, it's way more than you think.
Yeah.
And it really made people realize we got a problem. We've got a performance-enhancing drug problem in our game. And he was the first guy really to introduce it. He's fascinating. I'm a huge Jose Canseco fan. Unbelievable to have him on. We want to thank Steve Sparks, the knuckleballer, former A, now broadcaster for the Houston Astros. He's been one of our all-time favorites since we started A's Cast Live. So Sparks, who was here, we want to thank him. Nick Kurtz, the number 1 pick, big kid. The basketball game, we want him on the squad.
3-year letterman, I believe, in high school basketball.
Yeah, he's going to hit bombs.
Yeah.
He's going to hit bombs. Looking forward to him. Following his journey, because we told him after the interview, hey, it's going to be like Jacob Wilson. When you get promoted to Stockton, we're having you on. When you get promoted to Midland, we're having you on. We're going to follow your journey, just like we did Jacob Wilson. David Forst, the general manager of the A's, always fabulous with us. And now, a man that was Rookie of the Year. He was the MVP. He was the biggest star. He's now an A's Hall of Famer. His bobblehead was just given out. The great Jose Canseco.
Always a pleasure to have the great Jose Canseco back with us here on A's Cast Live. How are you?
Doing great. Just turned 60 years old, so I feel pretty good for my age. Some body parts feel 20, other body parts feel 80, so kind of average it out.
You know, it's funny, over the years, I've been able to do some things with you, and I was thinking about this yesterday watching you throw out the first pitch, and everybody stands. And it just reminds you how much this fan base still loves you. What does that mean to you, that how this fan base has always felt about you?
I think they're curious to see what I'm going to do next, what's going to happen. If I'm going to throw a pitch and blow up my arm like I did in 90, when I was way back then, we had a Tommy John surgery. So I think the fan base here is great. It's very positive. It's been behind me for a very long time. Yeah. And I think as an Oakland A's player back in the day, I think our team was, obviously we had a great winning team. We had a lot of characters, but I think we're a very entertaining team. And I think the fans appreciated that they came out to the ballpark and got their money's worth.
No doubt about it. You know, it's basically my generation, people around my age, a little older, a little younger. You were the star. It just wasn't you were the star of the A's. You were the star in Major League Baseball. When you think about that, I mean, go back to that Chicago All-Star game and people are hanging out of the building, hit it here at Wrigley Field. Just what is it like when you go back and you think about what your stardom was like as an Oakland A?
I think part of the stardom, if you look at the players of today, even back then, I think it's more acknowledgeable today as when you're a star of a team, a star of an organization, you have to be an entertainer. You have to acknowledge the actual fan. You've got to do something out of the ordinary. And I think that's what I brought to the game, being 6'4", 230 pounds, running a 4.29 40, hitting baseball 500 feet. Back then, that was kind of the changing of the actual guard, where it was a hit and run type of environment. Home runs weren't really seen as much as they are today, especially 500-foot home runs. And of course, the PED era came around, and you look at everybody hitting 50 home runs, 60 home runs, 70 home runs. So the era's kind of changed. I think maybe I kind of ushered in that era of the long home runs, the anomalies, the entertainment, the individual that can entertain fans. And I think the fans appreciated that. I always consider myself, for one apparent reason or another, an entertainer, not just a baseball player. Acknowledging the fans, flexing for the actual fans, doing things out of the ordinary. And of course, I came in, you got guys like Bo Jackson who came in, who then carried that torch. Oh my God, Bo Jackson, a football player, now playing baseball, but what an incredible athlete. He could hit a baseball 500 feet. He went a 4.2, a 4.2 40, transcending football into baseball and vice versa, which I truly believe Bo Jackson could have become the first Hall of Famer in both baseball and football. Tragically, he got hurt, and we lost one of the best athletes in history. But, hopefully I think the fans will remember me for obviously a lot of things. They will, whether positive or negative, but I think the entertainment value was always there.
I think of the 40-40, and I talk about it all the time. Other guys went on to do it, but you did it in a season that mattered. Talk about that, where you guys now know how good you are. You're going to be going to the World Series. Doing 40-40 for a team like that versus teams that are under 500 and out of it, whole different deal.
I think the timing was perfect. I think it was the time of the Oakland A's. The Oakland A's had put together a tremendous team. And I come into spring training, with high expectations. The last 2 years, if people really noticed, I'd stolen 15 bases, got thrown out twice. I think so another 50 or 60 got thrown out 3 or 4 times. So I had to be able to steal bases. And that was not with the green light. That was picking certain situations to go. And I thought, well, you know what? I have enough speed. I have enough experience now. I worked during the off season with sprinting coach, University of Miami. People didn't know that. I was just working on that first step because I was very tall and very heavy. So I realized if I can accelerate that first step, get a bigger jump, and all of a sudden acquire the green light, I thought I could easily steal 40 bases. What I thought was going to be more difficult was going to be the 40 home runs because, of course, back then in the 80s and early 90s, Mount Davis wasn't built yet. The Oakland Coliseum was known as the most difficult ballpark to hit for a high average and to hit home runs. So I thought, oh my God, going into spring training, I said, I'm going to accomplish the 40-40. The media kind of laughed at me. But, ironically enough, I didn't realize that the 40-40 had never been done before.
Yeah.
I thought it was something that had been done. I didn't really look at the history of it. And when media personnel kind of laughed and said, do you realize, Jose, that the 40-40 has never been done? I was kind of taken aback and kind of sat there and said, oh my God, that in my mind said, did I stick my foot in my mouth? But then I realized, I said, well, wait a minute, I worked extremely hard. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to try to accomplish it anyway, no matter if it never been done before. Coincidentally, it was a perfect storm because now we have a winning team. We get, we get a great jump. We're ahead. We stay ahead the whole year with our winning record. And at the same time, I stayed healthy and I was on track to accomplish the 40-40. So, of course, winning team, organization, great players, great fans, and I'm accomplishing something individually along the way with our huge team effort. And it seemed like everything kind of flowed perfectly. Everything fell into place. Boom, we set our position for the playoffs and so forth. I think a week or two later, I accomplished a 40-40. And I'll tell you what, it's perfect timing, a perfect storm. And what would have been a perfect ending was us going to the World Series. Of course, we went, sweeping the actual Dodgers. But I think we took, first of all, we didn't realize that the Dodgers were that strong. They did everything perfect. They had over Hershiser. They had guys hitting home runs that never hit home runs before. So it looked like they did everything perfect, and we took that series a little bit for granted, and we definitely fell short.
It's so interesting to hear you say, a guy of your size, say the tougher thing would be the home runs, not the stolen bases.
Here,
yeah,
then,
that's
yes,
interesting.
in the Coliseum.
I've interviewed you so many times. I've interviewed your teammates so many times. One of the great things to talk about, and I think we're missing in baseball, is you mentioned the entertainment part, but the rock star team. You guys were like rock stars. That team was, you just couldn't go through the lobby. I mean, everybody wanted a piece of the A's back then because you had so many stars. We recently just did the interview just like this with Dennis Eckersley, and we talked about it.
He was a rock star for sure. Yes.
Through your eyes, what was that like? Because you were one of the rock stars. What was being on that team like? 3 straight World Series, you win it in '89, but you guys were special.
I mean, I was in awe of our players. You never really sit there and look at yourself in the mirror and say, well, I'm this, that, this. You don't really realize it. I was always kind of like a nervous type of shy guy who, my God, we got Dennis Eckersley, we got Ricky Henderson. We had Dave Stewart. We had so many players that I was in awe of that. Of course, my older type players, our leadership. And I never realized what impact I had. I was such a young kid applying my ability and really having a lot of fun. Of course, I made a lot of mistakes along the way, but what do you expect? But one thing you have to realize is that the Oakland organization went from 1985, when I first came up in the 40-man roster expansion, averaging 12,000. All of a sudden, in 2 or 3 years, we're filling out 40-something thousand every damn game. And I think the structure and the commitment the Oakland A's made to acquire these players, Tony La Russa, knowing the chemistry. Listen, we dealt with different individuals. My character, Ricky Henderson, Eckersley, McGuire, building up the minor
You brought
league
in
system.
Dave Parker, talking about big personalities.
Parker, well, think about our size of our players. We average, I think, 6'3", 230, 40 pounds. Among 6 of our players in our lineup, that's the biggest lineup in history. I mean, we had Goliath-type individuals. But look at what happened in our minor league system. I come out of nowhere. I'm on the A's, a power hitter. McGuire develops, comes out of nowhere. We had him go to a year in college. First year breaks the home run record with 49 home runs. That's crazy. So now you have the foundation. You have 2 juggernauts on a team, 3 and 4 hitters that no other team had. Not only that, completely different type characters that no one else had. So we had the foundation. Then you start adding pitching, defense, Steinbeck behind the plate, La Russa, who was a mastermind of putting all these pieces together and these characters together, was just amazing how he dealt with it, because we were completely different entities. And somehow on the field, we had great chemistry together. Off the field, I think it was completely different. But on the field, we had completely exact chemistry. And we started winning. Of course, we a little bit of lacked experience in 1988. We got kind of killed by the Dodgers. But then the next year, the World Series against the San Francisco Giants, we knew exactly what we needed to do. We knew exactly how we need to accomplish it, and we did.
Think about the bobbleheads. Think about, everything that's going to happen later on when you're going into the A's Hall of Fame. Did you ever think this would ever happen to you, that you'd be kind of brought back home? You have a home with the Athletics.
I do, and I spoke about that yesterday. Obviously, the year 2000-something, when I wrote that book, Juice, obviously those PDs in the game, and I spoke about it, and I brought it to the forefront. And in one way, on one hand, I'm glad I did it, because I think it got PDs out of the game completely. We don't know where the game would have been today if that book would have never been written. Who knows? Someone else would have come to the forefront. Someone else would have written a book, and PDs would have been, taken out of the game. But in another way, I'm kind of, it was kind of nightmares for me, because I had to talk about players, friends, teammates that till this day, it really bothers me that I had to take that route.
But you're back home.
Back home, back with a bobblehead. And I love this bobblehead because there were other bobbleheads made, but this one has kind of 2 layers to it.
Yeah.
It's got the home run hitting and then base stealing, which I think may be probably the first one done like that. Really a dual layer of both. But it's a pretty cool bobblehead. I actually love it. They showed it to me. I said, wow, this is great.
Well, I hope you enjoy every minute, because watching yesterday throughout the first pitch, what we're going to see today, and then, of course, the Hall of Fame induction. We'll talk to you again later on, but soak it all in. These fans, they're never going to forget you.
I appreciate it.
They love you.
Yeah.
And when you go into a Hall of Fame, you're there forever.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
The great Jose Canseco right here on A's Cast Live.
Hi, fans. This season, Kingsford Capital Management is the official hedge fund sponsor of the Oakland A's. At Kingsford, down to business is their way of seeing the world. Investing has its pitfalls, treacherous chasms of half-truth and despair. Kingsford's mission is to create opportunity through application of proven innovation and entrepreneurial focus with trust, tenacity, loyalty, and growth, establishing a strong reputation as a proven intended and validated bedrock of American finance. Kingsford Capital, down to business.
August 5th is International Trading Card Day, and Topps would like to celebrate with you. Visit your participating local hobby shop to receive a pack of cards, plus receive a special card